I'm joined every Friday by my good friend Barry Goldsmith, who joins us right now. He's a professor, he's an architectural historian, he's an award-winning comedy writer, and the host of the Been There, Haven't Done That podcast and radio show. And the radio show can be heard Sunday nights on WOR in New York City and New Jersey. It's Funny Friday, Barry, so you better be funny. How are you, pal?
How are you? Yeah, I'm fine. Or I should say, yo, John. My students used to say, yo, prof. Now, they could call me anything. They can call me bad professor, whatever. But I drew the line with yo, prof. I told them, guys, I am dyslexic. So when you say yo, prof, I automatically think, oi.
Oi! So you hear the word yo backwards as oi.
Thank you.
Ba-boom.
I also wrote, people know I wrote for Joan Rivers, but, I also wrote for comedy for Maury Povich, and that is not a joke. That is not a joke. No, it was more than 10 years ago, and every week, speaking of writing through a pandemic and writing through riots and all of that in bad times like this, I was in charge of writing, ready for this, but I don't know if you remember him, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Of course, he used to eat humans.
Yeah, I had to do Jeffrey Dahmer jokes, okay? What is Jeffrey Dahmer having for supper tonight?
Oh.
Shepherd's pie with real shepherds. What? Thank you. What is Jeffrey Dahmer's favorite dessert?
What is Jeffrey Dahmer's favorite dessert?
Ben and Jerry with real Ben and Jerry.
Ow! Oh, that wouldn't be a bad one.
Thank you. And when he's tired at night, when he takes a shower, you'll get this. What shampoo does he use?
I don't know. What shampoo does he use?
Head and Shoulders. With real Head and Shoulders. Thank you. So if you can write comedy about a serial killer, without losing your appetite, a cannibal, without losing your appetite, you can write about anything. My first Maury Povich joke.
What kind of cereal does a serial killer eat?
Well, let's put it this way. He doesn't usually. He eats haute cuisine, not haute cuisine, French with sauces, just plain haute cuisine.
Ouch! Come on, Barry.
My first joke with for Maury Povich was about a tragedy. Okay, it was about solidified airline food came through a ceiling and nearly killed a woman on the ground. We don't. It was from a toilet. It was poop from a toilet that actually nearly killed a woman on the ground. It was that bad. And of course, I had to write jokes about tragedy. And I said to Maury, it could have been worse. It could have been airline food. Okay.
Ba-boom.
And my best compliment, this is more than 10 years ago, Maury said, hey, kid, great jokes. And I said, thanks, Maury, for the compliment. Not so much the jokes, but calling me a kid. I haven't been called a kid in 20 years. So anyway, these times now are, I've written humor during bad times or during bad things. So are you sure you still want to have me on every Friday?
I don't know. We're going to take that up with the team in post today. But nah, you're with us for good, pal. Look, you know what? You know the deal with this. Let's get through the shtick for a minute because you're a great friend of the show and you're always there for me and everything else. But the truth of the matter is, and you know this, I know this, sometimes the joke works. And if you're a talented humorist, even when the joke doesn't work, people may laugh at your reaction to the joke not working, and it's kind of like self-deprecating, and you're the best at that.
Well, thank you. By the way, I've been hearing a lot of things about, God forbid, Donald Trump doesn't win the election. Do you know what? There are lots of things he can do. TikTok is running out of time. If Trump's time as a presidency also runs out, here's what he can do. Did you ever hear of Stanley Kaplan refresher courses?
Yep.
Courses for the SATs, the College Board, the law
Yep.
boards. Well, I think that they can hire Donald Trump to prep everybody, like older people, on the cognitive test. Can you imagine? He'd be coaching cognitive tests. I think that's just made for him. Or,
he did so good on the cognitive test.
Yes,
I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw hiding Joe Biden, but he was asked the other day on a CBS broadcast, a softball question. Hey, presidential candidate Biden, would you be willing to take the same cognitive test that Donald Trump did? Because they're all making fun and saying that the test isn't hard, and if you can tell the difference between a fox and an elephant. And Joe Biden went on a rampage and asked the guy, well, what would I know? Why would I take the test? And then he starts ripping the guy apart, say, hey, when you went for this job, did they give you a test for cocaine? What are you, some kind of junkie? So he attacked the guy for asking him about a simple test. It was crazy.
Oh, well, I got news for you. That was the second time he answered the question. The first time when that reporter asked him, would you take a cognitive test? You know what Biden said? What's a cognitive test?
All right, you know what? Even though sometimes comedians have more jokes, when you hit the good one right near the end, you go out on a high note, and I'm going to let you go on a high note because that was a good one. And you're a good one.
Thank you.
You're a good friend. You're a great man. And to all of you out there, Barry writes me jokes every day. Okay, I try to put them into my own slang and stuff, but I use them all the time, so that's him being funny. And on Fridays, we just like to break it up and get him on. And aside from being a professor and an expert in architecture, he's a great friend, and we love him dearly. Barry, have a great weekend, my friend.
Got a great show, John. Take care.
We'll see you next week. We'll see you in just a minute. Do not go anywhere.